Hi, everyone. Thanks for all who are joining. I'll quickly introduce myself. I know we're virtual, so you can't see me, but I'll be your trainer today. My name is Amanda Barker. I am with Slalom Consulting. My background is in change management, so I'm really excited to kick off your training today around Office 365. My role is to make sure that everyone at Beautycounter feels comfortable and supported in this transition as you move from Google Apps to Office 365. So for the training session today, I'm going to walk through a few slides, and I want to spend most of the time in the demo. So I'll actually flip over to Outlook and show you some really cool features that are a little bit different and that you'll like compared to Google. At the end, I'll make sure I save time for some questions, just to make sure we can kind of have a smooth training session up until then. And then, of course, at the end, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to speak up. So with that, I'll get rolling. So Office 365. So why Beautycounter is moving to Office 365. Exciting time for you guys. Your company is growing, and as you continue to scale, really important to have a powerful suite of tools to help support you to do that most effectively. The other part that you'll notice with Office 365 that you'll really like is that there's some great ways to really help maximize your productivity and help drive some efficiency in your daily tasks. So I think that you'll really enjoy that piece as well. So Office 365 is similar to Google Apps. It's a suite of tools, and it'll be your new platform in order to manage your email, your calendar, your documents, and it'll become your new collaboration platform as well for any sort of chat functionality as well as virtual meetings. So just to take a look at what you're using today and the tools that you're using that you're very familiar with Google, and what that will translate to when you're live on Office 365. And with that, let's take a little tour of Office 365. So I want to first show you what the screen will look like when you log into your Mac or your PC. You can see in the left-hand corner on this slide, you'll see this little tile that has the Office 365 icon. And when you click on that, you get this dashboard of the different tools that you'll be able to leverage. And when you log in, you'll be using your Okta credentials, and you'll be receiving communication around this. But that'll be what you use in order to log in to Office 365 for all your document management, your email calendar, and chat tools. So with that, let's take a tour of Outlook first. So this is going to be the tool that you use to manage your email calendar and contacts. This is just a quick snapshot. I'll show you in the demo as well, but you do have this quick navigation bar on top here. And this is customizable. So you can actually change the different functions and features within this ribbon to whatever task you use the most throughout the day to make sure you can quickly access that without having to spend time clicking on anything further. It's right here in this quick navigation for you. On the left-hand side is where your folders will be. So today in Gmail, you have labels. When you migrate over to Office 365, those same labels, any naming convention that you have for those, will be the same in Office. It's just that it'll now be a folder instead of a label. If for any reason you have something with two labels, for example, that item would also have two folders in Outlook. You wouldn't have to worry about trying to find it. On the bottom, what I want to show you is that you'll see this quick navigation down here to flip between your email, your calendar, contacts, and any tasks that you want to use for a task list. So it's really easy to navigate between those couple different things within Outlook without having to leave the screen. And I think someone might have their phone not on mute. We can hear you walking, so make sure everyone's on mute. Yeah. All right, so let's flip over to the demo. So what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to pull up my Outlook. And like I was showing you, you have this quick navigation. And so one thing, for example, that I did to make my life easier is I set up some quick tasks in here that I use on a regular basis. And these can be switched out. So that's just kind of an example of being able to quickly file something to a folder or reply or forward email. On the left-hand side, you have your folders. And one thing I want to show you that you're going to love compared to Gmail is the ability to search and filter within your mailbox. So for example, if I sent an email maybe a month ago, and I think I put it in the onboarding folder, You see, I can easily search within here, but then I can also filter. So if I remember who the email was from, or if I know I assigned a certain category or flag to it, I can search by that. And let's say I'm not finding it within this folder. I don't have to sit there and click through all these different folders to find it. What I can do is just expand this search to look at the whole mailbox. So it'll now expand my search, and now I can keep looking and easily, again, sort and filter. So that is a big time saver when you're trying to find emails that you want to go back and reference. And I can also organize my inbox that way. So I can have things sorted and filtered by date, or if I want it by subject. Sometimes that's really helpful when you have multiple emails within one subject. What you'll notice is that I have these little color blocks next to my email. So categories are a really easy way to organize your inbox. And I actually use this quite a bit. It's up to you. This is something that you don't have to use, of course, but I like to show this as a tip, as one way to organize your inbox. So if I go up here and click on categorize, I can assign these categories and change those out based on the color and the title of that, and then organize my inbox that way. So you can kind of see some of the different categories that I use, but some folks use it by different projects or due dates, certain senders, whatever works best for you. The other thing that you're going to really like that I enjoy about Outlook that makes your life a little bit easier is the ability to assign rules so that you can easily manage what information gets directed into your inbox and what you automatically want sent to, let's say, a different folder. So I always receive a lot of different newsletters, for example, and I know I want to go back and read them when I have time, but I don't want it clogging up my inbox when I need to make sure that those are just the most top priority items. And these are reoccurring newsletters from different parts of the company or different industries that I follow. So what I can do with that is I can assign a rule to automatically move that email somewhere within my inbox. So what I'll show you is I can click on rule, and I'm going to create a new rule. And let's say I just want it so that whenever an email comes in that has the subject of newsletter, I want that item moved into a specific folder. And now again, I can search and easily kind of expand and collapse my folders and select which folder I want that migrated to. So it's a nice way to easily manage. And another example would be if you get certain emails that even if you unsubscribe, for some reason you still get them, you can automatically send those to your junk folder. So it's kind of a nice way to easily manage your inbox and what you do and don't want to see. So those are some of the basics of the email portion. What I'll show you next is the calendar, but I'll pause there in case there's any questions around email. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you on email before I jump to calendar, though, that I think you'll enjoy is the ability to insert tables and pictures within an email body. So sometimes you might be creating an agenda, let's say, and it's much easier to show it in a table format. I can easily insert that within the email. I can also insert a picture directly to the email. And the other piece that I actually use quite a bit that is really helpful is I can reverse back and say, I want to make sure that folks can reference something that was sent maybe a month or so ago, and it'd be really helpful for everyone to have that context. It was an email sent, but not everyone saw it. I can include an Outlook item so that they can see that email directly without me having to copy and paste that. So it lets me search within my mailbox, and I can filter within here to quickly find the email that I'm trying to find and insert that so that everyone can reference that email directly from the one that I am sending them. So some really cool things you can do within your email, again, without even having to leave the body of your email. Let's take a look at calendar. So we just saw email. I'm just going to toggle over to calendar. Similar to email, you can see that these buttons up here are customizable, and it's a quick navigation bar. So I can easily change my view or schedule a meeting directly from this quick navigation bar. So let's say I'm going to schedule a meeting. I can either schedule it from up here or just by clicking directly on the calendar. I'm going to go up here and click New Meeting. I'm going to add a few people to this meeting, and I want to show you what happens that will save a lot of time and heartache on trying to find availability of both people and rooms. On the right-hand side here, this is going to be your guide. So as you can see, the calendar actually populates different colors based on the availability of everyone on the invite, so that you can easily see which days are going to be easiest for you to schedule a meeting. So I already know there's a good chance that there's a lot of availability on any dates that are shown in a white block. Fair, if there's a little bit of availability but still some conflict, or poor with the dark blue, where it might be a little bit more challenging to find time because it looks like there might be a lot of conflict. So let's go ahead and select next week, and I want to show you what happens down here on the right-hand side. Every half-hour block, it actually will show you for that date, if there are any conflicts, who has it, so that you can easily determine whether or not that time frame is realistic or not. So let's say I know Rick is actually going to be optional for the meeting. I know I could still technically select this 10:30 time slot because everyone else is available at that time. So without having to leave my calendar invite, I can easily already see and have a guide to what date and time would work best for those who are invited. The other thing that I can see is availability for rooms. So for any of you who do come on site for Beautycounter, or if you are at a location where you need to use rooms, this is a really easy guide to find which rooms are available based on the time slot that I have selected here. And once I select that room, it automatically adds it and books it as a resource once I send this invite. And lastly, let's say that I know Todd is going to be remote. So I do need a room booked, but I also need to make this a virtual meeting so that he can dial in. We can add Skype meeting, which will be your new platform for virtual meetings. And it populates all the information needed for that meeting directly within the invite without you having to do anything further. So when I send this invite, it will automatically have the dial-in information and the links so that you can share your screen or have a video call. You can select any sort of meeting options for that Skype meeting if you want to make sure that you know exactly how you want people to join, or if someone should have presenter rights. I can do all that within here as well. Are there any questions about scheduling a meeting and some of the basic functionality for the calendar that allows you to quickly grab availability and schedule a meeting?
We do a lot of Zoom meetings. Is there any connection with that?
So the new preferred platform, good question. I know teams are using a couple different things for virtual meetings. The preferred platform that's going to be supported for Beautycounter going forward is Skype. Zoom is very, very similar, of course. So the only difference here is that this is all integrated within Microsoft, but it has the same capabilities as Zoom. So video conference, the dial-in, sharing screens. Anyone who doesn't have Skype, so let's say you're working with someone who is at an organization external to Beautycounter and they don't have Skype, they can actually still use this same link, and it opens up a web browser even if they don't have Skype downloaded. So they don't have to worry about downloading something separate on their phone or on their PC in order to join that meeting.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. We talked a little bit about Skype. Let me show you what that actually looks like for your chat functionality. So of course you use it for meetings, but then you'll also be using it for your chat functionality. And what these indicators are actually coordinate with your calendar. So what's nice is it'll show as available, and of course you can manually change it, but it'll show as available. And then once you enter a meeting, it'll actually flip over to busy. Why that's so nice is because a lot of times you aren't quite sure if someone's going to be able to answer your question right away, or perhaps they'll have a delayed response. That's kind of an easy indicator to see whether or not they'll be available. And of course, do not disturb is something that flips on when you're presenting your screen, but it's also something you can manually do if, let's say, you don't want IMs popping up during your working session. So that will block any instant messages from coming through at all. And let's say I am chatting with someone. Let's say I'm chatting with Erin. And as we're chatting, I want to be able to just flip over and share my screen because it would be much easier for us if we could both look at the same PowerPoint together. All I do is click on this button and it actually expands my screen so that he can then see my screen as well. And our chat function would still be on the left-hand navigation, so that doesn't go away. I can also call Aaron directly to his computer. So anyone else who has Skype within your organization, everyone will have Skype. And if you do want to call your computer directly, you can. Of course, most folks then use headphones or earbuds at their desk, but that is an available option. And then you can start a video call as well. What's nice is I can also include attachments right within a chat session. So let's say as we're chatting, I want to make sure he can see the document that I'm referring to. I can attach that right to the instant message so that he can view that. As we're chatting, sometimes you also realize that you want to pull someone else into the conversation. So this little icon up here to invite more people allows me to add someone to that conversation. So maybe Braylyn has the right information and we want to pull her in to the conversation that we're having. I can easily just add her in. Any questions about Skype? I did get a few questions from the last training sessions around chat history. So let's say as you're chatting, you close out and then you realize, wow, they sent me some information I forgot to write down or copy and paste into an email. You can see chat history by going into File, this little tool icon, and then File. If I go into View Conversation History, this actually pulls up then in my Outlook. What's nice about that is I can then easily sort and filter again by date or who it was from. So it allows you a lot of flexibility there as well, which is nice if you need to ever reference back to something. So I'm going to go back into the training deck to show you a few more slides regarding OneDrive. So today, Beautycounter uses Google Drive. OneDrive is very similar. It allows you to share documents, have different editing and permission rights by using a link or by sending the document directly. So one thing that you'll really like about OneDrive that's nice, especially for anyone who travels, is that you can actually have your documents sync with your cloud and your computer when you're offline. So let's say I'm on the plane and I don't have internet connection. I can still be working on documents and it actually automatically syncs when I'm back online later when I have internet connection. So you don't have to worry about losing that file or saving a bunch of different versions. So that is one really nice feature. And this is just a snapshot of how similar it is with Google Drive when it comes to creating, uploading, and sharing your files. But again, the difference with OneDrive that's nice is that it does sync offline.
Hi, Amanda. Our team uses Google Drive a ton, both interdepartmentally and then also with contractors that we use. They give us weekly, monthly, quarterly reports via Google Drive. In the transition, is all of that going over automatically, or do we? How do we transfer that over?
Good question. So all of your documents will transfer over to OneDrive. The only caveat is that if you did share a link to that document, that link is now broken because now it's changed the locations of the document. So you would have to send a new link from the OneDrive location. But all of the documents that you have will migrate over into a OneDrive folder. And they will be compatible and open up with the Office 365 tool. So let's say if it was a spreadsheet, now it opens in Excel, for example.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, good question. Yeah, so luckily there's no work on your end to have to do anything in advance when it comes to having to move your documents or anything.
And same for emails, right?
Correct. Yep, exactly. Your emails, everything will migrate over and we'll have the same, the structure that you have with labels will now be folders, and then your calendar, all of that will migrate over as well. And I will say there is going to be communication coming out tomorrow, both in the morning and in the afternoon, to provide even more details around kind of what to expect with the migration, and then your first day of being live on Office 365, which will be this Thursday, April 20th. And we have a lot of support and help to make sure that everything goes seamless for you, and that you have available support resources, both at your fingertips as well as the IT Beautycounter team, ready and available early in the morning, right away on Thursday. So even with the time difference, if anyone is on the East Coast or Midwest, they would have available support. The last piece that I want to show all of you is mobile. There are detailed instructions that you'll be sent after this training session that includes some of your other resource documents I'll review at the end of this training, but it will provide you with detailed instructions. If you do want to add Outlook and Skype to your phone, you'll have that availability. Of course, it's not required, but many folks like that option, and it will be available. And this is just kind of a snapshot of what that looks like on your phone. So the inbox is pretty self-explanatory. With Skype, what I really enjoy is that if I'm on the go or on the road, I can easily join meetings that are virtual just by clicking this join button without having to do any further dialing or any other information I have to enter. That's really nice, as I know I've had to do other meetings where I'm dialing in numbers and I'm trying to do it when I'm on the go or on the road, and not exactly safe. So this is really nice. And you can also see not only your chat history that syncs with your PC or Mac, but also you can see your calendar view, that you have that available as well. Any questions around mobile?
Will the tech team be helping us put the tech team be helping us put the mail on our phones? Because of course all of us want our mail on our phones.
Yeah, there'll be detailed instructions provided after this. I know anyone who's on site, IT has been helping make sure that they help with both PC and phone. I know that they won't be downloading on your phone if you're remote, but I can tell you, as someone who had to do it themselves right when we transitioned, really it's just like any other app where all you do is you go to the App Store, download the only option there is, and then you just use your credentials to sign in, and it's set up for you. So it is really nice and easy. But you could email our IT at Beautycounter team for any additional help and support that you would like, and they'll be readily available.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. So after this training, what you'll receive is I will be providing this deck, so all the information we covered in here, as well as we have some much more detailed kind of job aids, step-by-step guides for the different tools within Office 365. So you'll receive one of those, and then you'll also have, like I said, those mobile app instructions that you can easily have that on your phone, including some of those kind of tips and tricks to set that up. Any other questions I can help answer around Office 365? You will be getting an email tomorrow morning with some details around what to expect with the outage window. Again, kind of reiterating your support resources that are available to you. But is there anything else I can help answer while on this call?
When is the estimated outage window? Did I miss that, or is that not decided yet?
It is decided, so it is going to be from 6 p.m. tomorrow, so Wednesday the 19th, through 6 a.m. Thursday morning on the 20th. And that's Pacific Standard Time. Just to ensure, of course, that we also have ample support in case, once you are logged back in, if you do have questions, we want to make sure that we have a team there ready to, be able to answer your questions and be on site as well as remote for you guys. So we will have that available, but that will be communicated as well tomorrow, and with reminders right before that starts.
Will we be unable to use any of our Google? Will Google be completely gone at that point? Because we're all in the middle of training people using Google Drive, like Natalie said. I'm just wondering, if totally be gone and we have to switch gears right in the middle of all that.
So Google will be unavailable starting at that outage window time, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you would want to ensure, and I know that's included in the email that you'll receive right away tomorrow morning, just to make sure that you are aware that anything that you do need overnight, between 6 p.m. and then Thursday morning, that, you can save directly to your desktop if you do need to readily access it. But those will be unavailable starting at 6 p.m.
Is there any one person or one email in particular, if we have questions or issues, that we should use for our questions, or is it just IT?
Yes. Nope, great question. So the Beautycounter help desk is it@beautycounter.com, and that will be, we have a dedicated team monitoring that like crazy, specifically for Office 365 questions. So if there is anything that comes up tomorrow, that would be the email to leverage, and we have our IT support team ready and able to help right away.
So I have a question. So when we, like tomorrow, or I guess Thursday morning at 6 a.m., like, am I just going to open up my laptop and all of a sudden Outlook will be installed on my computer and all of my mail will be on my computer?
Yes. Yep. So our IT team is actually doing that, even for anyone who's remote. They already have everything installed and ready to go on the back end, so that once you're live on Thursday, and you click on your, the little icon that has your Microsoft Office 365, all of that will be available for you. And then you'll just use your Okta credentials, your first name dot last name at Beautycounter, in order to log in. And everything will then be migrated for you and available to use.
Okay. And then what will happen to everything on my mail application on my computer?
Your mail application, are you referring to your Gmail application that's on your computer?
Yeah, so I set up my Gmail, like my Beautycounter account, to run through. I have a Mac, and I run it through the, I don't even know what it's called, but just like the mail function. It's just called Mail on my computer. So what do I do with that?
That will just be disabled. So your username and password wouldn't work for it anymore. So you wouldn't need to do anything further with it. You could, either delete it off so that it's no longer on your PC, uninstall it, or just not use it. But it wouldn't be synchronizing any mail for you anymore. So it would you won't have to do anything, but it won't be working anymore.
Okay, so then what about, so I have 2 personal accounts that are also linked up into my mail. Those will still work, right?
Those will, correct. Yep. So nothing will be
that
touched with your mail. Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, sorry, I have another question. So then I manage 2 email addresses at Beautycounter. I manage one of our store emails. So like I get funneled Nantucket Shop at Beautycounter.com and Natalie at Beautycounter.com. Are both of those emails going to go towards my Outlook, and how will I be able to differentiate the 2?
Yes. So all the resource mailboxes at Beautycounter are being migrated as well. So we have a list of those from the IT team. And so anyone who currently has access to those or owns and has delegate access, that has all been documented. It's actually being set up ahead of time. So when you log in, you'll actually see both of those available in your Outlook.
Okay.
So it'll actually show as your mailbox when you open up your Outlook, and then it'll just show separate folders right below your personal one that then titles it with whatever that resource mailbox is.
Okay, cool. And then one of my direct reports, she works remotely, and she just plugged in her Beautycounter email address through her own laptop. It's not a company-owned laptop. So does that mean that the IT department already has her and is going to be telling her like that? I mean, she's in Boston right now.
I haven't followed on that one if it's a personal. Yeah. So does she not have a work laptop issued at all, or is it just that she prefers her personal laptop?
No, she doesn't have it issued because somebody in my office asked if she could wait to get a laptop until for a few months. Okay.
Why don't I make sure that I take her name down real quick, just because I don't believe then that they would have that information if it's a personal laptop versus a work issued.
Yeah. So her
And
name is Susanna Smith.
Okay. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking to right now? So I can make sure
Natalie
I know who to
Wilson.
follow up with.
Yeah,
Okay.
Natalie Wilson. And she
Okay.
just got her email. I think the tech guys got into her phone and maybe accessed into her personal computer and set it all up. And then she also has the Nantucket shop email. So both of us manage that email address.
Okay. I will follow up on that for you to make sure she's all set up.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Another question, sorry, since we're all sort of in the middle of working with people on documents that have been shared on Google Cloud and, Google Sheets, Google Docs, just all over the place. So they're all currently working on it right now. And we aren't talking to them to go through them until maybe Thursday or Friday, which is right after all this work is done. Some of them have been shared from me, some of them have been shared from other people. I'm just not sure what to tell them to do. Do they take the work they're currently doing and just go ahead and download it on their desktop? Because we're all trying to do the work in one document, so they have one working doc. I'm just kind of worried that I don't want to lose work, but I also don't want to have a bunch of different versions of the same document. I'm just not sure what to do.
Yeah, no, great point, and good question. I would say up until, if you're going to be working on documents between tomorrow and Thursday morning, what I'd recommend doing is making sure that by noon tomorrow, you all agree and know that any changes are going to be finalized at that point, and then only have one person, whoever shared the document originally, I'd recommend that person managing the most updated version and not allowing changes until Thursday morning if possible. If anyone has them, maybe doing it through email instead to send those changes, just to be safe. But to your point, you don't have multiple versions, but I also don't want you to have to stop working, obviously. But if I would recommend that by noon tomorrow, any final changes that you guys are comfortable with, just to be a little bit safe. And then, by Thursday morning, 6 a.m., it'll be back up and in the OneDrive. And that way, you're kind of maintaining the most current version, but not having everyone working on different versions. That would be my recommendation, to ensure that you don't have multiple versions, but still can keep working.
All right, I think, okay, I'll try to figure out something that works, because I do think they intend to work on it for the next 48 hours. So I might just have them download the current version, put all their work in that, and then send me their versions, and I can put them all together. I think that's probably the only way to guarantee it's all in one document.
Yeah.
That's sort of my thought.
Yeah,
okay.
I know it's not easy. I apologize. I know it's always hard to have an outage window when that's not available. So.
Okay, and anyone else who's on the sales team, I guess we need to communicate that to our presenters.
Yeah, I agree, Caroline. We'll need to talk to Candace. She should be the one communicating that out.
Yeah, I think an email summary from Candace to everyone with some sort of window and action items for all of us, like to download to our hard drive what we've got until 9 a.m.
Hi guys.
Whatever on Thursday.
Hi, it's Candace.
Oh, hi.
Hi, I've been on the call. I wanted to touch base about that. So yeah, that's why I had set the due date for all the presenters to have all their information into us by today, Tuesday, so that I could start to use, take them from wherever they're stored, save them onto my desktop. And I'm actually prompting Mills James in advance. I've already prompted them today to save everything from every Google Drive we've shared with them throughout this process. So that they have that, because what's supposed to be happening is they're supposed to be building the presentations based off of all of our notes that we've already supplied by today, and any other like supplementary documents that we've supplied them as well. So it should work. In other words, our presenters should, as long as our presenters do have their information into us by, today, then we should be okay to go forward. So if anyone's not going to meet that deadline, that's where we're going to have a separate conversation. So I'll give you an example. We just finished with Paige and Heather. I rewrote their presentation with them on the phone as we were on the phone with Mills James. And Mills James knows, to make sure they save everything that was shared with them from that call. So the same will happen for your 2 presenters, Caroline, because I know you've been good about getting all of your notes together for both presenters. So we can do that for sure for those folks. Is Kelly or Laurel on the line, perhaps?
No, they're not. I know that Annie and Anna are good. It's Katya and Christy that I'm concerned about. I see that Katya just sent you her latest edits. Christy just texted me and said she sent you a Voxer. So if you wouldn't mind checking that and touching base with her, because she is still working and she's still working. So I don't really have anything final to send you at all.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I didn't know if you did Voxer, so I was going to text her.
No, I don't know what that is, actually. I know people talk about it, but
yeah, I was going to text you that. I'm not sure you used it. Okay.
Let's, Caroline, let's get on the phone together, me and you separately off of this call, and we can talk through Anna and Annie's.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Team, just to kind of circle back, I want to make sure I have a chance to ask if there's any other questions from the group on the call, to be mindful of everyone's time and make sure I'm able to answer anything further. Okay. Well, I will be sending a follow-up.
I have a question. Sorry, one more question. So if this is like for mobile, if our email goes onto like this Outlook app that's on our phone, I'm assuming it's similar to like Instagram or any other app that you have to click on it.
Yes. Yep. So once
Okay.
you're logged in, I have it where I just, on my phone, I literally just have to click it and I'm already logged in and I can see everything. So it's just like any other app with that piece.
Okay. So then with that said, like I get automatic notifications when my phone, like my phone email just constantly updates through the mail platform on my iPhone. So
Yeah.
like how am I gonna know that I have an email? Like, am I gonna have to always click on it, or does it push through updates?
It pushes
that I
through
have
as well. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So in your notification center, similar to your other apps that you actually want notifications for, this pushes through. So I see a notification just like when I used my old Apple Mail app. You have the same functionality with Microsoft Outlook app. You get the notifications for emails, for reminders that you have set, as well as calendar invites that prompt like 15 minutes before an invite. You'll have all of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
One other question. Logging in, when they do this change, our username, password, they're going to send us all of that, or is it the same? Is it different? Do we all have new?
Yeah, good question. So in the email that you receive tomorrow, it'll have the reminder of what credentials you use. And so some of you have, been using your first name at Beautycounter, I believe. What everyone will be using will be your first name dot last name at Beautycounter, and then your password for Okta. So whatever you guys have for that, your username and password, that is what you use to log in, and that'll be included in your email reminder tomorrow that that's what you use to log in. Of course, your specific password, we wouldn't know. So it's just a reminder of which ones you use in order to log in, which is your Okta credentials. Did that help answer the question?
Yeah, I'm now looking to see if I saved my Okta credentials.
Oh.
Yeah,
No
I've
worries.
saved it somewhere.
If you can't remember, our IT, IT at Beautycounter, they can help, with password resets and stuff like that. But, if you can't find it, just reach out and we should be able to help you.
And then, sorry, I have another question. So for our email, I have, let me see. I have 63,000 Beautycounter emails on my thing, which is obviously a lot, but I need all of them.
Yeah.
So they're not going to disappear, right? Like once I log into Outlook on Thursday morning, all 66,000 will be there.
Correct.
Or more.
Yep. So the reason that the outage window is so long, just that you guys are aware, is because the oldest emails, how the migration works from Google to Outlook, the oldest emails actually migrate first. And so just to ensure that you have all of your most recent in there, we want to ensure that you have all that information when you log back in the morning, so there's not any sort of like frustration, you know, when you're not getting your most recent emails. So you will have all of that, all of your historical, you know, everything that you have in your inbox today will be in Outlook when you log in Thursday morning.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yep. Any other questions, team? Okay. So I am going to send a follow-up email after this, and I'll have the training decks I showed you today, as well as those detailed resource guides. We also have an FAQ document that'll walk you through some of those common questions that a lot of folks have when they migrate over to Office 365, as well as some more specific ones that we heard directly from Beautycounter stakeholder interviews that we did. So that'll be another resource document that you have. And then again, just look for communication coming tomorrow morning and again tomorrow evening for migration details and your support resources that you have available to you. And with that, I will let all of you have a little bit of time back on your calendar and hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.